Hello, Kowal.
Hi,
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. My name is Julia. I'm the dietitian that's here to meet with you today. So tell me a little bit about what brings you in today.
Well, recently I've been having a lot of gastric reflux issues. I feel like I'm very restricted with my eating options, and I'm very annoyed. I feel like I can't eat a variety of things. Anything that I eat, I have a reflux. I can only have boiled foods and eggs, and I'm just tired. So I want to have more ideas, and I want to know what it is I can do to increase my food options.
I see. So you mentioned that acid reflux has caused you to have a very difficult time figuring out what you can eat other than boiled options and other things that may not be as palatable to you. Is that what I'm gathering from your
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Well, culturally, we tend to have like a lot of flavored foods, like chicken curries and stuff, and so I obviously make that for everybody at home, and I sit there and I eat with everybody, so I see all of it, but I can't even think about eating it. Every time I've tried even like a spoonful, I would have reflux at night and I can't sleep. So I'm like restricted to only a little bit of Italian seasoning and like either baked chicken, only salt, pepper. And sometimes I even react to black pepper, so I don't know what to do.
I can understand that being very difficult, especially when you have family members who are typically eating the curried foods and the other spices and herbs that you would normally have in your diet. How would you go about describing some of the actual foods that you have been eating?
Well, before or like after I had this problem?
Either or, whichever you want to talk about today.
Okay. Well, before I started having this issue, I would usually have reflux from like eating chocolate or like chocolate cake, and so I would avoid foods like that. But now it's eating anything with spices, anything with tomato sauce. So literally all I can eat is in the morning I tend to eat like eggs and toast with milk, so that usually works out just fine. So that's my standard, and that I'm okay with. I've been having that for years. But for lunch and for dinner, I'm restricted to just either having my chicken boiled with some vegetables or just baked with some vegetables, but nothing more than just salt and pepper. And then even like the vegetables, I can't obviously have like red peppers or anything of that sort. They all increase my reflux. So it's just like carrots, celery, and that's probably about it.
I see. That sounds very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
For how long has your acid reflux been bothering you?
It's been about 2 months now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
2 months. Well, I thank you for giving me your 24-hour recall. I see that you have information about the meals that you have eaten in the last 24 hours and some of the different things that you've been incorporating into your diet since you've been experiencing the reflux symptoms. I do see you mentioned that you have tea with milk in the morning and your eggs and toast, and you said you're fine with having that. Is there anything else that you would like to add to your breakfast that you currently aren't eating?
I don't know what I could possibly add that wouldn't, like, I wouldn't get reflux from. I'm just out of ideas. I don't really know what would be. Sometimes I would have, like, with a toast, I would have the eggs, and then with one toast, I would have either peanut butter or cream cheese. But that's as much as variation as I gave for my breakfast, just because it's the start of the day and I don't want to have reflux right from the beginning.
See. So you feel very limited by your choices because of your reflux. One thing I do notice for a lot of patients that experience reflux symptoms, it helps them to keep a journal of their foods that maybe they experience reactions with. That way they can kind of eliminate, like you've mentioned already. You've done an excellent job of keeping track of knowing that tomato sauce and spicy foods have been activating your reflux. Have you actively been keeping a journal at the moment? And if not, is that something you would consider?
I mean, I could consider it. I've done it before. It's just I haven't been doing it recently because there's no such variation. It's been like the same exact thing every day. So how many times do I record like the exact same thing? It's the same breakfast, the same lunch, the same dinner. For the most part, it's like exactly the same every day.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds very mundane.
Yeah.
It does
Sometimes I
sound-
get tired of it and I try eating different things and my husband gets really mad at me and obviously I get mad because he's not letting me eat, but at night he's the one who struggles because when I have reflux I can't sleep and then I'm in pain and then he can't sleep either, so he knows. But I don't really know what else to do sometimes when I'm tired of my same eating options. I just eat whatever and I wait to see the circumstances later.
Okay. That sounds like a lot to take in and a lot to handle.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for sharing that with me. What would help you today as far as branching out and trying more foods that maybe are some of your traditional foods that you like to eat? Would you be interested in possibly trying more foods that you could incorporate into your diet that maybe have not been a part of your typical diet per day?
I would love to. I just want like good ideas that I would not react to. That's exactly what I want. I want more options for sure.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being the most confident one being the least confident and 10 being the most confident you can possibly be, how confident would you say you are in your readiness to try new foods outside of what you've been eating?
I would definitely say about a 7 or an 8 because I really want to change and I really want to incorporate new foods. But I know that my husband is going to be very hesitant because he's afraid that I'm going to be in pain again. And obviously, if I have a reflux again, then that's something that bothers him. So that's just going to be a slight bit of an obstacle that I see. That brings me down to an 8. Otherwise, I would have said 10.
Okay, so an 8 is where you rank your confidence,
Mm-hmm.
and your husband and his feelings toward your trying new foods is a barrier because of his concern about your health and how you feel, and especially your well-being overall.
Mm-hmm.
What have you noticed about your relationship between you and your husband when you have been following this current meal plan that you have?
He's obviously very happy as long as I eat the same things because he knows that I'm going to be okay. So he's happy as long as I eat those same foods and I don't react. But every time I do react, he knows that I've done something wrong. I've eaten something that I've reacted to. So that obviously makes him very mad. And I understand that he's frustrated because I keep doing it every now and then. But he doesn't see that I probably am frustrated as well because I'm tired of eating the same foods again and again. But I don't really know how to break that constant cycle because he's right in his own place.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does your husband typically eat the same foods that you have been eating?
No, he eats everything that everybody else eats because obviously I can't keep everybody else on the same bland food that I eat. Culturally, we have a lot of spices in our food, so I make that food for everybody else.
I can see that being a barrier for you to want to continue to eat what everyone else has been eating. Let's see. Well, based on what you have in your 24-hour recall, I see that you've been consuming some bananas, you have fruit and fats in your diet as well with peanut butter sandwiches. You have more fruit here for dinner. You said boiled chicken as well, and celery and carrots. And these are your typical choices. What about some vegetables? How often do you get other vegetables in your diet on a regular basis?
Before I had this problem, I would typically eat like eggplants or okra and other options like that, but they're all cooked in ways that we always incorporate like tomatoes in it. Like our cultural recipes almost incorporate tomatoes into everything. And so now I don't really have any ideas how to eat them without that way. Like that's the way I know how to cook them. So that's why I don't eat a wide variety anymore. It's mostly just celery and carrots because that's the best I can think of with my chicken when I'm boiling it. I just like to dump it all together and boil. Sometimes I think I would add broccoli, but that's as far as I go.
Okay. So the tomatoes is a staple And without the tomatoes, you feel it's missing something. Other than what you mentioned, the tomatoes, we know that tomatoes are an excellent source of vitamin C, and they do tend to be acidic, but there are also some other foods that may have that same exciting flavor that are not as acidic, but may help enhance the flavor of your meals with your vegetables. What are some different foods that you enjoy that have been very flavorful, but you feel you may not eat as much of?
Fruits.
Fruits, okay.
Oranges, I know for sure I cannot have. Every time I've reacted, I can't have pineapple, or strawberries for that matter. I have had apples and bananas, and I don't remember if I reacted last time I had melon. But really, those are the two fruits that my husband tends to bring at home and that's what we eat. Apples and bananas for the most part, either through smoothie or just fresh. Those are the only two fruits I would typically eat. And then again, for vegetables, carrot, celery, broccoli. If I could find ways, I could probably start eating eggplants again, or okra, or squash. Things like that I can eat. I mean, I like them. I just need to figure out ways that I can eat them now as compared to what I used to.
Okay. When you have been choosing these foods, have you been using any type of resource that has listings of foods that maybe are lower in their acidic content, or have you been interested in learning more about a diet that could considerably lower your intake of those triggering foods?
I haven't looked much into that. I've really just been experimenting and leaving foods that I would react with. That was pretty much the only way I did. I didn't do any research or look into what has lower content of vitamin C.
Okay. How interested would you be in observing some of those resources with me during our next appointment?
That'd be great.
Okay.
That'd be a good way that I could increase my options.
Okay. And do you feel as though your husband would be interested in listening in or attending that session as well?
I think he would be. He'd be more open-minded for me to try different things if he listened to you, and you would know that it wasn't just me making up things because I want to try more things. I think he definitely trusts you as a professional. So I'll ask him to come along if he's not busy that day. Thank you.
Okay, great. So let's discuss what you would like to do as far as a plan between now and our next meeting. Okay. I don't currently have the resources with me, but if you would like to take the initiative to look up low acidic foods that are in different resources such as the American Heart Association, the AHA.org. I can write that down for you. There are also a few other resources that I can provide you, and we can work together to see where we can meet within 1 to 2 weeks, and then discuss some of the foods with your husband as well. Does that sound like a plan that you would be interested in?
Yeah, that sounds good. I can look into it.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about what you would like to set as far as your goals for our next meeting. What are some things, maybe 1 or 2, or even 3 goals that you would like to set for the time that you have between now and then?
Well, as far as incorporating more food options, maybe I could explore more recipes to incorporate the vegetables and foods that I used to eat.
Okay.
Yeah, that could be one thing I'd be willing to do.
Okay, that sounds like an excellent plan. Are there any particular recipes in mind that you have now?
Right now, it's just everything is based off of tomato sauce, and so my daughter learned a few recipes that she substitutes yogurt, and that gives a really nice flavor. It's very different, but it still has a very nice flavor. So I might cook my vegetables that way, and if everybody else eats along with me, it'd be nice because then we could have all these meals that everybody's having together, and I wouldn't even have to cook 2 different meals for myself and then for them separately.
it sounds like your daughter might be a great help and support to you, especially with being able to incorporate more of those meals that you enjoy, that you can still have with your family and not have to make those extra servings for yourself. That sounds like an excellent way to incorporate more support from your family members, especially now that that's been something that you feel has been lacking a little bit for you. So, okay, from this point on, I guess we can discuss some summaries of just what we've talked about during our interview. Thank you so much for sharing about what you've experienced with your acid reflux and the fact that it's been something that you and your family have had challenges with. But it sounds like based on your readiness to try new foods, you rated it as an 8 in confidence for trying new foods and even incorporating your husband's advice and consideration into our next appointment. Is there anything else that you would like to focus on today before we set our appointment date?
No, I think we're good. I definitely am looking forward to next time. So I have more ideas, and once my husband's here, I think it'd be nice for him to listen to you and your advice so that obstacle is easier for me to handle.
Okay, well, wonderful. We'll be in touch. I have written down these resources for you. The AHA.org was one of the websites, and it has information about the foods that you can consider to lower your acid reflux conditions. So,
great.
Do you have any other questions for me?
No, thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much for calling. Have a great day.
You too.